The Lavender Witch and the Captain. Captain David stood on the bridge of the Dominion, the star map reflected in his eyes. He loved the quiet hum of his ship, the endless night dotted with possibilities. It was a peaceful life, charting the unknown. In the ship's arboretum, his wife Kelvin tended her garden. She wasn't just a gardener, she was a lavender witch. She whispered to the glowing purple buds, and they pulsed with soft light, their magic intertwined with her own. David joined Kelvin in the cockpit, wrapping an arm around her as they watched a comet streak past. "Another quiet day," he murmured. Just then, a shrill beep echoed through the bridge. A distress signal. "The signal is weak," David said, his fingers flying across the console. "It's coming from inside the Amethyst Nebula. No ship should be in there." Kelvin placed a hand on his shoulder. "Someone needs our help, David." He looked at her, saw the resolve in her eyes, and nodded. He set a course for the shimmering, dangerous cloud in the distance. The Dominion reached the edge of the Amethyst Nebula. It was a terrifyingly beautiful storm of purple and pink energy, with tendrils of electricity that lashed out into the void. "Steady," David whispered to himself, easing the ship into the cosmic storm. The ship groaned as arcs of raw power struck its shields, making the lights on the bridge flicker. Kelvin began to hum, a low, calming tune. Lavender charms on her bracelet began to glow, and a shimmering purple shield enveloped the Dominion, soothing the nebula's fury. The ship stabilized. Through the violet haze, they saw it, the source of the signal, a ship, adrift and silent, its hull scarred by energy burns. David's breath caught in his throat. It was identical to their own. "It can't be," Kelvin whispered, her hand flying to her mouth. It was the Dominion, but it wasn't. A ghost ship, trapped in the heart of the storm. "Dominion, this is Captain David of the Dominion. Do you copy?" he hailed, his voice tight. Only static answered. "Life signs are scrambled. Most are gone, but there are two, very faint." "I'm going over," David said, grabbing his jacket. Kelvin didn't argue. She knew that look. He wouldn't leave anyone behind. Kelvin prepared a small pouch of dried lavender and shimmering dust. "For protection," she said, tucking it into David's belt. "My magic will be with you." They beamed over together. The bridge of the other ship was a place of shadows and silence. Emergency lights cast long, dancing shadows. The air was cold and still. The crew were at their posts, but they were gone. David knelt, his face grim, checking a datapad from the fallen captain's hand. The last log entry was a single, terrified scream. Kelvin closed her eyes, reaching out with her senses. "They're not all gone," she whispered, her voice a beacon in the oppressive silence. "This way. They're afraid." She pointed down a darkened corridor. In the engine room, they found a beautiful, slim woman named Davina standing warily behind a conduit. She wore a posh cobalt blue captain's uniform with a miniskirt and sheer black tights. Kelvin approached her slowly, her hands open and calm. "It's okay," she said softly. "We're here to help." A handsome lavender warlock named Kelvin emerged from behind the engine core, his face streaked with grime. He was dressed in posh lavender robes. David raised his hands in a peaceful gesture. "The ship's own robots," the warlock stammered. "They just turned on us." As if summoned, a maintenance robot rolled into the doorway. Its optical sensor, usually a calm blue, was now a burning, malevolent red. Its manipulator claws clicked open. Another robot appeared behind Kelvin. It raised a claw to strike, but she spun around, a whirlwind of purple energy erupting from her hands, slamming into the machine and sending it staggering back. David shoved the warlock Kelvin behind him, drawing his phaser and firing a brilliant beam that struck the first robot square in its chest. It sparked and fell, but two more were already rounding the corner. "They're everywhere!" Davina screamed. The ship began to shudder violently, a deep groaning sound coming from the core. Red lights flashed. "Core breach!" the witch, Kelvin yelled, pushing Davina towards the corridor. "We have to go, now." A blinding white light erupted from the engine room. The force of the explosion tore through the ship, ripping the corridor apart. The blast threw David and the witch Kelvin in opposite directions, their hands slipping apart as the world dissolved into fire. David found himself sprawled on the transporter pad of his own ship, the emergency transport, having saved him at the last second. He scrambled to the viewport. There was nothing there, just the swirling purple nebula and glittering dust where the other ship had been. "Kelvin!" he screamed into the silence. Far away, amidst the wreckage and the beautiful deadly gas of the nebula, Kelvin floated in the silent dark. Her eyes were closed. In her hand, a single sprig of lavender glowed with a soft, determined light, weaving a tiny, fragile bubble of air and magic around her.